What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to a slightly different section of videos that's going to be coming onto this channel, which is diving into yacht tech, diving into gear that's being used on boats, and just sort of more product knowledge around some of the stuff that's actually on yachts and perhaps some stuff that should be on yachts. And that's actually what we're getting at today. My recent trip to Australia, which took me on board sailing yacht Jalen, which was the catamaran that I was on, introduced me to a product that I'd only ever read about but had never actually physically seen, touched, or experienced myself. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Sharks have been a massive part of my life since I started surfing in South Africa at 8 years old. This coastline is known for some of the worst shark attacks in the world, for some of the most brutal sharks in the world, the great white. And so growing up surfing from 8 years old, it's just kind of been a part of my life that we've always known that they're there. And we always just kind of felt like if that's how we were going to go, at least we were sort of going surfing, which is what we loved. So that's kind of how sharks have been the relationship for me. I've been chased out of the water physically surfing in South Africa from sharks so many times I couldn't even keep track, from Jeffreys Bay all the way down to my home break in the Southern Cape to Cape Town. I've never really surfed that much, but they're everywhere. Unfortunately, every year shark attacks and shark scares seem to be getting worse, and Australia doesn't seem to really be having it any better with bull sharks and tiger sharks. So it's becoming more prominent to have things that reduce the risk in attack. Before I actually get onto the different types of sharks and where this really works best, I just want to share my point of view and how I can see one of these being used on almost every single yacht out there and why there should be on almost every single boat. Just a super fast disclaimer, I'm not being paid by Sharkbanz at all to share my view with you guys. In fact, when I approached them, they sent me one to say that I'm capable of giving this away to anybody around the world. One of these will be given away, so the link will be down below. As well as if you're looking to purchase one, 10% off just by using the promo code Can't Touch Me, which is a 10% discount. In return, if you do buy one, I now have an affiliate link, which means I get a very small kickback. So Sharkbanz, thank you very much. Bonus to me, but at the end of the day, I am actually using these products, and I can't see why yachts wouldn't want to if they understood it just a little bit more. So having worked on a variety of yachts, I can pretty much confidently say that almost at least one or two people from each set of guests that come on board the boats that I've worked on have always stressed about sharks. They've either just come and dangled their feet in the water at the back but just didn't swim because they didn't feel comfortable in deep water, or didn't feel comfortable in the water at all, and it really ends up just reducing the enjoyment that that particular guest can have on a yacht, when the whole purpose of going on a boat is to be on the water and being able to enjoy the water at the same time. When the guest does stress this type of worry that they have, my conversation normally goes along the line of how small the risk is already of being actually attacked by a shark. And then I normally go on to some crazy stats. I found this website. 25 shocking things that are likely to kill you more than a shark. Almost 24 people die each year because of a champagne cork. Tripping, lunch, being hit by blunt force trauma from a cow. More than about 100 people die annually from being scalded by hot tap water. Vending machines, 37 people a year are killed by vending machines trying to get the snack from a vending machine. And as an overall statistic, you have 1 in 11.5 million chance of being bitten by a shark in America. The chance of being killed by a shark is less than 1 in 264.1 million. So the chances are already super low. The advert that really stuck out to me and has always stuck out with me is this advert of where everybody was relaxing and enjoying the beach, and then all of a sudden, well, this happened. Let me just show you a little section of the ad. Basically showcasing that toasters are more of a danger than shark attacks are. As a result though, it still doesn't necessarily make people feel that comfortable, as opposed to physically having something that deters sharks and That's where this really shines. There's some footage I'm gonna overlay now of where I think it's a whole bunch of bull sharks and reef sharks that are swimming around. They've taken a dummy, they've attached fish on each limb of the dummy and then wrapped a shark band, one on the wrist and one on the ankle, and left it in the water, of which they had hundreds of interactions from sharks, but not a single attack. And I think within removing the shark band at the time, I don't have the figures in front of me, but the moment they removed it, within seconds, the sharks bit. My second favorite footage that really sort of made me believe that this thing is 100% real, because like everybody else, I did have some skepticism in the beginning. There was a spear fisherman, shot a fish, waited for the sharks to come. Sharks started eating the fish. Immediately he grabbed his shark band, attached it to the line, sent it down, and the sharks deterred away from it. Immediately afterwards, he pulled it back up, he grabbed the shark band, he let the fish go back down, and boom, sharks started chowing again. It was like a no-brainer to see how much sharks really hate this thing. From a personal perspective, surfing here in Cape Town, South Africa is always in the back of your mind with regards to sharks. I now feel so much more comfortable. I just put one on every time I go for a swim, every time I go for a surf. I have my leash on one side and I have my shark band on the other, and I just feel better in the water. It's just like one less thing not to worry about. The same thing seemed to happen right in front of me when I was on a boat in the Cape Town waterfront, and one of the guests that was on board the boat was like definitely not going to swim. The moment I mentioned that I had a shark band, he ended up putting the shark band on, swimming 100 meters away from the boat to another boat to go and ask for a girl's number. He just felt like that much more confident. It's just a funny little example, but at the end of the day, if a guest is enjoying his time more because he feels comfortable, it's an all-around better experience for everybody, from guests all the way to crew. Okay, let's get into the actual product. This is the box that it comes in. This is the second edition Sharkbanz. At the end of the day, these are $84 in the States, 74 euros in Europe, give or take, and about 1,000 Rand here in South Africa. They're available to ship worldwide. This box itself is actually a shield to stop the magnets that are inside the Sharkbanz from damaging any electrical components like your computer or anything like that. So if you do buy one, don't get rid of the box, keep the box. I'll show you why it helps in a second. The physical product, some information inside, and then it comes down to the actual band itself. It looks like a little Apple Watch is the way that I would describe it to people. It's like the size of a watch. You can see it fits on the wrist, and you literally just slap it around your ankle or slap it around your wrist, and the balance of this, there's these little notches along here that you can just cut it with the scissors and just keep it to your size. So apparently not a lot of people do that, but it does make sense because there's a lot of extra band here if you're going to put it around whatever made you feel comfortable. So once you find your section, you just chop it off. But there's no battery and there's no charger that comes with this. It is constantly on because of the magnets that are inside this little top section. For an example, I mentioned the box itself is a shield. You can see that there is obviously some steel or something inside here that stops it from affecting any of your other electronics, and that right there is what's causing the issue for the sharks. Sharks have some of the most, or one of the most sensitive electromagnetic sensors in their nose or in their snout or whatever you would call it. That's pretty much how sharks see. Their eyes aren't very good, so they use their electromagnetic sensors to basically see. And when you get within 1 to 2 meters of this thing, it completely throws them off. You'll see footage where a shark will come near it, and then at the end it literally just handbrake, turn away and bail out of it completely. And that's these magnets inside here basically completely deterring and throwing off the shark. Just an overview when these might not be so effective, and this is from my personal understanding of great white sharks. Great white sharks, when they get the chance, they attack from extremely deep down and they come up at an absolute rate of speed. This is a very rare attack when it comes to humans. It's normally, you see that happening with seals and stuff like that, but it is very rare because, for example, surfers often surf shallow reef breaks or sandbanks and stuff like that, and that's where this is not going to allow a great white shark to come from a super deep angle. It's going to be when a great white's coming to find out what you are, be a little bit inquisitive, have a nibble, and the nibble's really not so great for us. That's where this really shines. Yachts are often in warm water, and where warm water occurs, you're normally going to find bull sharks and tiger sharks, ones that I'm actually more terrified of than great white sharks. And that's where this has been proven over and over again to deter them really, really well. Super effective. So really, at the end of the day, you're talking about under $100 to give your guests or to give somebody absolute peace of mind when they're in the water, a highly reduced rate of attack. At the end of the day, no charging, no batteries, no nothing. Put it inside you, travel with it everywhere you go. It's just one of those things where it's almost like why wouldn't you have one? And when you're on a boat, if your guests are feeling comfortable, they're having a better time by snorkeling. For crew, you're probably going to get a better tip at the end of the day because your guests have had so much of a better time or better reviews for your charter boat or whatever it is. Jalen actually ended up ordering a box of 10, so they had one for each guest that came on board and one for each crew in case they were all in the water together. So it was one of those where it was an absolute no-brainer for them in Australia, and I really can't see why, even with the small chance that yachts have of shark attacks in the Mediterranean, people are always worried. They are always talking about it, and for under $100, I really just don't understand why you wouldn't have these in your garage on the yacht, just to make your guests just feel a little bit better. So like I said, we are actually giving one of these away, not this one's mine, but this competition is open to anybody worldwide. So if you're somebody that is interested in perhaps winning one of these, link down below right on the top is a link that'll take you to a couple ways it'll enter. Sharing it with some friends will give you some extra entries, and following myself and Sharkbanz on Instagram will get you another entry. We will make sure that you guys are following just so that we know that you are in this for the Sharkband. Other than that, 10% off every single one that is bought with the promo code. So go and have a look at the Sharkbanz website, all their science and everything behind it, and all the guys that have spoken about it like Forbes and Discovery and all those guys that have really been talking about this product is a whole bunch of information and reviews there. Go and check it out. If you're going to buy one, or if you're a boat that's looking for a bunch of these, just use the promo code. I will then thank you very much for the little kickback, but at the end of the day, you're saving 10%. So that is episode 1 of Yacht Tech, mainly because I just had this right in front of me and I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, but I have some more stuff coming. If there's anything particular that you would like to see or talk about, from tenders to boat tech or anything else, please comment down below, make me aware of the product, and I will try and get my hands on it and review it. So thanks so much. That was the first episode, and we'll catch you on the next one. By the way, I will be in USA from Sunday onwards for 3 weeks. I'll be at the West Palm Boat Show. So if you are from America and you're watching this, please come and say hi. If you're in Florida, hit me up on Instagram, and hopefully it'll be cool to just meet some of you guys there. So thanks so much, and we'll catch you on the next one.